Have you ever seen a whole school change because one girl refused to bow down to a bully? At Maplewood High, Naomi Brooks, the new transfer student, stepped into the buzzing hallway with only one wish to make it through unnoticed. But the queen of the school, Savannah Reed, had other plans, from mocking whispers in the cafeteria to subtle challenges. Savannah made it her mission to break Naomi down. What Savannah didn't realize was that Naomi carried with her a strength forged through years of training and a will that no bully could crush. The yellow bus hissed to a stop at the school gates that morning, letting out waves of chatter and laughter. Naomi was the last one to step off, her hands gripping the straps of her backpack while curious eyes flicked her way. She'd lived through this before. New schools, new faces, same routine. Keep quiet. Keep moving. Don't draw attention. She lifted her gaze to the red brick building. Just another place to survive. Inside, the hall smelled of fresh mop water and new textbooks. Posters for football games covered the pale walls, and bursts of laughter ricocheted like waves. Naomi slipped to her locker, muttering her combination under her breath. All she wanted was stability, just enough peace to graduate. But in high school, stability isn't yours to choose. The air shifted. Conversations hushed. A path cleared. Naomi didn't need to look to know who was coming. Savannah Reed appeared, blonde hair flowing over her expensive dress, flanked by Tessa with her sharp eyes and Jenna with her phone always ready. At the far end, her brother Brandon leaned on the wall in his football jersey, with troublemaker Tyler beside him. Savannah gave Naomi the briefest glance, cold and territorial. Naomi got the message this school already had a ruler. She turned her lock, pretending not to notice, but the weight pressed heavy inside her. In first period, Naomi tucked herself by the window, writing in silence. She could feel Savannah's gaze now and then, calculating, like pieces on a chessboard. At lunch, Naomi chose the farthest corner table. She opened her milk carton, trying to fade into the background. But Savannah never left her targets alone. With a tilt of her head, she set her entourage in motion. Phones began lifting across the cafeteria. Savannah leaned down, her smile too polite to be genuine. "Sitting way back here, so you won't be lonely?" Tessa snickered. Jenna chuckled. Naomi's reply was calm. "I like the quiet." Savannah tilted her juice cup. Red liquid spilled across Naomi's tray. Gas spread. Phones recorded. But Naomi didn't flinch. She picked up the tray, dumped it, wiped her hands, and returned with steady composure. "Finished yet?" she asked quietly. For the first time, Savannah's mask slipped. By afternoon gym, the whispers had spread. Brandon and Tyler tried subtle shoves during the run, testing her reaction. Naomi adjusted her stride each time. Unbothered. Students watching whispered, "She doesn't react at all." Savannah's folded arms tightened at the sideline. At her locker later, Naomi found a note in black marker. "After school, behind the gym, if you don't want to be called a coward." She folded it into her pocket. When Savannah passed by with her group, she didn't back down. "I'll be there," Naomi said simply. The hallway fell silent. Savannah blinked, but turned with a stiff smile. That evening sky turned gray as the school buzzed about the showdown. When the bell rang, a crowd streamed toward the gym field. A circle formed. Phones ready. Savannah stood in the middle, arms crossed, posture regal. Naomi walked in calm and quiet, her father's voice echoing in her mind. "Don't start the fight, but if it comes, you finish it." Savannah smirked. "I thought you'd run away like a scared little mouse." Naomi's reply was steady. "I said I'd come. I keep my word." Brandon stepped forward first, bigger than most grown men. He lunged to shove her down, but Naomi pivoted smoothly, using his momentum, and slammed him to the ground in one clean move. Gasps erupted. Phones shook in hands. Brandon, the football star, was down. Tyler charged next, fist raised. Naomi sidestepped, locked his arm, and forced him to his knees with precision. His cries split the silence. She released him without cruelty. The crowd's laughter died. The whispers changed. Savannah froze, pale and shaken. Pride shoved her forward. She lunged, shrieking, but Naomi caught her wrist and pulled her off balance. Just before Savannah hit the ground, Naomi steadied her. Leaning close, she said, "You are never strong, and you will never control me." The circle went silent. Savannah stumbled back, eyes wide. Even her loyal friends faltered. Brandon stayed quiet. Tyler avoided every gaze. Naomi stood tall, calm as ever. The crowd parted for her as she walked away. The next morning, the halls buzzed with whispers, but not about Savannah anymore. Naomi's name rippled through group chats. Her calm strength replayed in clips across phones. Students who once mocked her now nodded with respect. Savannah walked in, shoulders hunched. No longer a queen. Tessa and Jenna drifted away. Brandon kept his distance. Tyler stayed home. The power she had built on fear had shattered. At lunch, Savannah sat alone at her once-coveted table. The silence around her harsher than laughter. Naomi saw it, her chest tightening. She knew too well what it felt like to be cast out. After a pause, she walked over, set her tray down, and said calmly, "It's over. I don't want to keep playing this game. I hope you don't either." Savannah froze. The words offered no arrogance, only a way out. Naomi walked back to her usual seat, her steps light. The cafeteria whispered with admiration. That day, Maplewood High shifted. Bullying lost its hold. Students stood a little taller, spoke a little louder, dared a little more. Naomi never wanted to be queen. She never wanted power. But by holding her ground with dignity and self-control, she became a symbol of something greater. True strength wasn't in humiliating others, it was in controlling yourself. And from that day on, Maplewood High was never the same again. If this story touched you, drop a comment telling us where you're watching from. Hit that like button and subscribe so you won't miss more stories where courage and justice triumph over fear.